Right, IFP supporters living in the Dalton Hostel in eThekwini have been protesting following the election result announcement. Last night, a group of residents torched a vehicle near the eThekwini College, which served as a voting station on Monday. The residents say they were not able to vote due to voter registration glitches. Our reporter Karinda Jagmohan joins us live from the eThekwini College. Karinda, very good morning to you. It sounds like chaos unfolded on those streets last night. What exactly happened?
Indeed. Well, it was really the aftermath of the election results announcement that saw then the protest that happened here. Now, the residents that have been protesting are from the Dalton Hospital just down the road. My colleague Lungelo Zungu is behind the lens, and he'll show you the damage caused to this building. This is eThekwini College, which served as a voting station on Monday. But the IFP supporters, or rather residents of the Dalton Hostel, said that they were not able to vote because their names had not been on the voter registration system. They said that when they came here, their names were not on the voters' roll. Now, the IEC has spoken about already their issue regarding the turnaround time to coordinate the elections. They said previously, and they've said this before, that they only had 1 day following voter registration weekend to ensure that all the registered voters were as per the districts that they had applied to vote. But because of this short turnaround time, this could not be conducted in a manner where it was assured that all voters were assigned to specific voting districts, and as a result, many people had to fill out those MEC7 forms to then vote in the districts that they wanted to. But here, residents were extremely upset. In fact, we heard that at one point, the ballot box at this voting station was taken away from IEC officials by citizens for about 10 minutes before police could be called in to disperse the situation. But the residents are upset following the results announced. My colleague will just show you some of the damages during the protest, and I'll explain to you. In this ward, this is Ward 32 in eThekwini, overall, the ANC won by a 51% majority, EFF 14%, and IFP 11%. But at this specific voting station, it is the IFP that has the stronghold at 72%, ANC 13%, and DA 4%. So that's looking at the ward overall and then the station, meaning that the Dalton Hostel is a stronghold for the IFP. In fact, during the 2019 national election, IFP president, newly appointed at the time, Belenkosini Hlabisa, came to the Dalton Hostel to campaign because it is a stronghold for the party. And so they're upset, saying and believing that it is because of this voter registration issues that despite this voting station seeing an IFP majority, overall the ward has lost in terms of IFP support, and they're extremely unhappy about this. But the IEC now still has to answer about how they're going to maneuver through this. The IFP as well is seemingly going to lay concerns to the IEC, the Electoral Commission, about this. You'll see this is the IFP ward candidate that was standing for the elections here, Mthokozisi Bengo, and we also expect to speak to him at some stage as well as the chairperson for the Dalton Hostel. The Dalton Hostel is made up of mostly young students who live in the Durban area because of access to various colleges around this area. This is very close to the beachfront as well, the beachfront of Durban, and the residents here protested well through last night before police were called in to disperse the situation. And what is left is the remnants of what you've seen, where they've essentially attacked this voting station. It is the eThekwini College, and the college itself has now been closed because of the protest that got underway last night. Security just standing guard at the gate to try and protect this area. When we were here this morning, there was also private security, but no police presence. It seems like now the residents, the IFP party, is now in talks about how to take this matter going forward. But what you see in Paul is now the start of the aftermath of the election results announcements and how people on the ground are reacting to what is being happened locally and nationally regarding now the new apparent change in various governments at ward level and local municipal levels.
Karinda, things seem pretty calm as you talk us through what happened last night. You speak about police coming in to calm the situation. But in terms of a way forward, what happens now? Who will be taking care of these grievances when it comes to the students there, as well as perhaps the chances of them regrouping later on? How slim or how high are they?
Absolutely. Well, I'm not seeing a high police presence at this moment, so it seems like a lot of those tensions have been calmed down. The Dalton Hostel is a very short walk away from the eThekwini College campus. That's why it's quite nearby to where we are, and that's why those students came here to vote, because it is their voting station. And in between this, no security yet, but it seems like the IFP party has been on the ground to speak to the residents here. In fact, last night, an IFP EXCO member for the eThekwini municipality, Nkosi, was here as well to speak to some of those residents. And it seems like those conversations will be ongoing. And it will be interesting to hear as well from Mtokozisi Bengu, the person that was campaigning to get this ward, and understand from his side what will be the next step forward. There have been objections raised to the IEC regarding various areas, not just in eThekwini, but also northern KwaZulu-Natal, Edumbe. We saw the National Freedom Party upset over their apparent loss regarding one ward. They were demanding a recount there. And we still expect to hear back from the IEC, from the National Freedom Party up north, as well as here the IFP, about what their next steps will be going forward. Of course, it is just a day after the election results were announced, and those were still preliminary statistics and results that were announced, so that political parties and private citizens can raise objections should they feel that they want to do this. At around 10 o'clock, we do have a meeting with the chairperson of Dalton Hostel to understand what will be the next steps that the residents will be taking going forward. Will they be part of the groups now raising objections to the IEC regarding the aftermath of elections and the announcements, as well as just speaking to the apparent unpreparedness of the IEC and what they say about this? For them, when we've surfaced the concerns of parties regarding the apparent unpreparedness and how this would impact then the results of the elections, the IEC has always said during their media briefings that this was the shortest turnaround time they ever had to prepare for an election, and that is why there has been the glitches we've seen.
Very well. Karinda Jagmohan wrapping it up there in KZN, speaking to some of the tensions, of course looking at the aftermath of the 2021 local government elections. Now,